poisoned by alcohol. The other one is taking a very powerful medicine that uses the natural detoxification mechanisms like vomiting or, diarrhea, et cetera, to actually, expunge toxins like parasites and metals and bacterias and all kinds of, agents that may be in the body that are causing, health. So I just think there's variation between all those, but there is overlap in some of the symptoms.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're.
But the thing that you said that the bacteria is responsible for the disease and all that, it has never been proven in the first place. Nobody has actually proven causation. The fact
Yes,
that
it has.
bacteria
I would say it has thoroughly. You can look at a bacteria in a microscope of what that bacteria is. You can then infect a person with that bacteria, and they will get the symptoms that bacteria
When you
causes.
actually look at the microscope and you see the bacteria, and when you actually, first of all, you need to isolate it, and after isolating it, you need to put it inside the body of a person who does not have a disease, any problem, healthy organism, and then if they start showing the same symptoms, you have to take out the bacteria and see whether it is there or not. It has never been proven. Koch postulate. It's called Koch postulate. It has never been proven that bacteria are the ones who are actually causing it.
We could get into the viruses of the whole conversation, but
so here's the thing. So actually, it hasn't been proven. So the military back in like the 40s or 50s or something like that. I'm sure you can Google it. They took sick people and they took their saliva, their blood, their everything, and they tried to make other people sick with it. And no matter what they did, they could not transmit a sickness from one person to another.
Okay, well, where's that story? Why do you believe it? And where did you get that from? That story? Because that's one isolated story. So why?
So I understand that it's true. Hold on. So I understand that it's true because I went through the process of eliminating toxins from my life. So since I only eat a certain way, I realized that when flu season came around and all my family got the flu because they still eat normal garbage, I wasn't getting sick like I normally got because
you made a claim
I'm
about
not
a
eating the
military
same
experiment.
stuff.
You made a claim about a military experiment.
Yeah, I'm saying that
that's anecdotal.
Right. I'm saying that the experiment makes sense because I wasn't getting sick any longer. So therefore, the military saying that they had sick people spit on not sick people and they didn't get sick makes sense to me because that's not how disease happens.
Sure, the experiment that you haven't proven even existed would make sense. Can you prove that it existed though?
I don't have to. I just told you through my experience, it's true.
Well, there's also, I would say,
dragons breathe fire, and that fire's hot. I know fire's hot, so in my experience, it makes sense that dragon's fire would be hot.
Gio, based on what you're saying, the whole science behind vaccines would be legit. So do you believe in vaccines?
I never said anything about vaccines. And I
never
said they're legit at all. No, that's not.
Okay, but you're saying the whole pharmaceutical system is legit.
No, dude. Okay, I don't just think in wholes. There could be parts of the mainstream medical system that are correct and parts that are not. So I'm not saying that it's all one way or the other. But one thing I was going to say about what Arian just said is that my understanding of it is there's more nuance to it. For example, there's immunity. So like if somebody has an illness of some sort and the other person is immune to it because they already have the antibodies, etc., they could be in a house where a bunch of people have a cold or whatever, and that one dude may not get it because he's immune to it, or maybe even 3 people are immune to it. That's why, like, it seems like there's cases where, like, the kid will get sick, and then, like, maybe the mom does, the father doesn't, one of the kids does, one of the other kids doesn't. Other times they all do. So, I mean, there's like exposure is a factor of that as well. But I'm just saying, like, there's immunity. So, and then there's also
about probiotics.
And there's I was going to say there's probiotics as well. Like there's certain, if you have really high levels of probiotics, there's certain bacteria that will not affect you. Like you could eat certain salmonellas and it'll do nothing. But if you have poor bacteria, then that are in your digestive system, that the bacteria would hit that person really hard. So I'm saying there's more reasons as to why that person may or may not be infected by that infectious disease, more than just the fact that it's being transferred.
Bacteria has nothing to do with it.
Have you seen the video of Kerry Mullis when he says that you could take a sample from anybody and show any virus in any person?
Yeah, bacteria has nothing to do with any disease in reality. It only detoxifies.
Bacteria cause disease.
It has never been proven. It has never been proven. Germ theory has never been proven. You can look it up, actually.
The inventor of the PCR test says you can find any virus in any person. Find Ebola, and everyone
That
in here
basically
has
means
Ebola.
toxin.
Well, like I said
That
just a little
basically
while
means
ago,
toxin.
if the flu is caused by what, bacteria, then how did I get it from a taco?
No, flu's the influenza. They call it a virus. It's not a bacteria. It's a virus.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
different
So
thing.
whatever it is, how did I get it from a taco then?
Because it was either on the person's hand that made it. It was in the environment. It was contaminated. I mean, if that's
Okay.
what happened to you, I don't know what. I mean, it depends on. It
Well,
sounds like you got sick from something. So yeah, it would have been.
yeah, that's what I'm
It would have
saying. I
been
got
on the.
flu, like the flu. But here's the thing, though. No one else got it. I mean, because I had contact with other people, and no one else got the flu from
Because
me.
you're immunocompromised.
It could be
So
that. It also
No
could be that
viruses,
whatever
they
you
don't
had,
exist.
what you had
Sorry,
could
if
have
you
not been
wanna,
the flu. Hold on for a second. What you had could have not been the flu. There's symptoms that overlap with many different kind of illnesses. In fact, if you got it right away, it likely was not, because what they call viruses, and I'm not saying I agree with the way what they say they are, but those are generally delayed. They usually don't happen, although they can in some cases. But anyways, you could have had I could have had a bacteria or a mold or a fungus that hit you hard and with similar symptoms to a flu, but might have not actually been the influenza.
Yeah,
So then how come there
but
wasn't
still,
like a mass outbreak of influenza? It was just me. Because if you're saying that someone at the Taco Bell had it on their hands and was spreading it to other people, then there should have been like a mass outbreak where I was, but there wasn't.
I mean,
I've had the same experience too.
You don't know. I mean, you don't know how many of those people did go home and vomited or got sick who ate the food that day. And then, if they did, they would all just independently think, "Oh, I got sick," or whatever it may be. That's one thing. Another thing is that like their tacos maybe were not infected, whereas yours was. Maybe yours was made by a dude who just went to the toilet. He took a bowel movement. He then didn't wipe his hands very well. He had that in his poop. It got on your taco, but by that, he didn't get it on other people's. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it's a million possibilities.
I mean, I will say,
Hold on. Actually, you guys, Sophia was trying to get in before. I kind of pushed through, but let's let her go. Go ahead, Sophia. Just to be fair.
yeah, I just wanted to say this whole conversation is sort of pointless because there is no contagion. There is no infectious disease. There's no viruses. Bacteria are cleanup crews. They eat dead and dying tissue. They don't actually cause disease. Yeah, you find them there when you're sick. It's because your body is trying to get rid of something. The bacteria is there to clean up. Saying bacteria causes disease is like saying the maggots on the dead dog killed the dog. So,
what about the white blood cells? What do they do?
yeah, what about them? They clean up.
The example that you just gave.
And the white blood cells do the same exact thing?
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
The
they clean
example that
out.
you just gave.
And why are
So
they there?
all the symptoms, every symptom you have is simply your body ridding you of toxins. That's the only thing that's happening.
Where did you
Your
get? Can I
white
ask you
cells
as
and what
well?
they call your white blood cells and what they call your immune system, because we don't actually have a thing that's just an immune system on its own, like you have a digestive system or we don't have what they call the immune system. Yeah, we have stuff like white blood cells, but those are all just there to clean up. They just detox you. That's all they do. They come in, they remove toxins. That's what they do.
Okay,
The
could I
lymphatic system.
ask you? I've been kind of
Immune
doing this because it just in the more the perspective, like in an interview style. Can I just ask? It's not like in a debate form, but could I just ask like where you got that information, what backing you have for it, and why you believe it?
Oh, well, that there's no viruses.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
just
start
asking
there.
you, like, yeah,
That's the
why you
premise.
think that? Yeah, why you think all that?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I used to think that there was such a thing because I'm a medical professional. I used to believe everything.
What?
But then when I went into started reading the articles and started looking into what they present as evidence for viruses, there's never, ever, ever in the history, you can go through all the literature, it doesn't exist. There isn't, they are unable to isolate a virus, right? So what they call isolate, they say they isolate a virus, right? But if you go and read the studies and see how they actually do that, all they do is they take cells, they poison them in a test tube, and then the results of that, they say that's because there's a virus. They have never been able to remove something from a fluid of any person that has been shown to make another person sick. You can go and look at, for example, the Rosenau experiment, which was around 1917, I think. Yeah,
Spanish flu
Rosenau,
experiment.
Rosenthal, something
Yeah.
like that, where they
Spanish
tried and
flu.
tried and tried. Yeah, the Spanish flu one, yeah. They tried to transmit it between people. It's not possible. The only studies where they actually managed to get animals or humans sick was when they did something that's unnatural. So they took fluid or snot from an animal with quote unquote polio, and then they injected it into the brain of a monkey, or they injected into their abdomen. When they tried methods like just breathing on each other, or taking someone's spit or blood and putting it in another human, they haven't been able to make anyone sick. And like Arian said,
Okay, Sophia,
when
this
you
is.
start to see your
Can we
lifestyle,
have a conversation? Can someone else jump in?
sure.
Okay, so I asked you the
Yeah.
question, and I hear you. I hear you on all of that, but that was a lot for sure. And if you want to continue, you can. But so basically, you got all of this. You were saying it was mostly from articles, from that's where all of this came from. You're saying your belief in this?
Fuels, articles, and my own life. Yeah, both. I would say both, because I am able to read medical literature because I have the background. But besides that, just when I started seeing in the literature what's actually going on, and I then looked from a different perspective in my own life and seeing, oh, when I start to stop doing certain things in my life and these quote unquote illnesses stop happening, you get a different picture. So yeah, it's both.
That's
Okay,
For
viruses,
me.
can I push
though.
back on something?
Not
Sophia, you
not
said
bacteria, right? This
you
is
said
just
bacteria.
viruses.
So go ahead, man.
One thing that I just wanted to clarify is that Gio
No,
gave
Yeah,
an
no,
we gotta
example
go
of a
one at a
test.
time. Hold on, they were trying to figure out who goes first. One of them
I
should
was
go.
just asking. It's just viruses, or that's bacteria as well. I was asking Sophia.
No, viruses. I'm specifically talking about viruses, because
Oh, gotcha.
bacteria you can show them to exist. Bacteria is a thing, you can find them. I'm specifically talking about what they call viruses. It's something that's supposed to be an intracellular organism that multiplies in your body, and then you secrete that, and that is then breathed onto or spit onto another human, and that human then gets the same illness as you. That's what I'm talking about. That does not exist.
About the bacteria that you say exists, you said that it feeds on the dead tissue. It's like basically a cleanup crew, right?
Yeah, like a compost heap.
Okay, but you said white blood cells do the same thing, right?
Well, they're just sort of your internal defense. I know they talk about, because that's the other thing that's really confusing, right? They talk about an immune system. But if you open up a human, there's no like one thing that's an immune.
Sure,
They
but okay,
use that
let's take it one
term,
step at a
but it's
time.
just a
One step at a time. So we
yeah,
have
yeah,
bacteria
sure.
at a place, like